So excited to be here. I'm Ross, CEO of Guild.xyz, and excited to announce that after months of work, we finally put Polygon ID to work in Guild, and we finally launched the campaign a couple of weeks ago. And I'm going to show you what is Guild, how Guild works, how Guild could be useful to your community, and most importantly, like how could you implement and use Polygon ID in the context of a Guild on Guild.xyz. So I'm going to show Guild in the context of two other applications, but specifically like focusing on Viv, which is an awesome library of credentials. And so maybe start with Viv first. If you're not familiar with Viv, you can use this with just your wallet, and then it will open up countless of different like on-chain credentials based on your on-chain activities. They have a badge library of thousands of badges, or like 57,000 in total. And during the campaign recently, we started with Viv, because on Viv, you can claim some of these credentials in form of like Polygon ID credentials too. And how does this work? Once you already got specific credentials, like here you can see that I have the Polygon Voyager credential, I can come here and claim it from here. And the process is very simple. I just come here and use my mobile phone. Instead, I just took some photos here, so I can show you like how it works from the user perspective. First, you can see I have 0 credentials. Then I come to the claim Viv page. I claim this credential, and then after the credential is added, it appears in my wallet. You can see that now I have 1 credential, the Polygon Voyager issued by Viv. And once we have this credential, you can come to Guild and verify that you own this specific credential by like connect Polygon ID. And here, if I use my mobile phone and just scan this QR code on Guild's page, I get to an approved page. And once I approve this, I'm generating the proof for the Polygon Voyager by Viv on my mobile. And once the proof is generated, Guild will be able to like read it and get me into the specific type of groups. But what is Guild after all? Like, how does Guild work, and like how could Guild be useful for your community? Yes, sorry, like the authentication took a little bit of time, but it's still authenticating. Okay, I think I will drop this and just continue the presentation. So in Guild, you can see, as you can see, like Guild, each of the guilds are communities, and you can register your own guild for your community too, and then create roles. And based on these roles, you can create membership structures. And but the problem is that you can set up membership structures for all sorts of like public data, like NFTs, tokens, allow lists, contract queries, wallet activities, and so on. But what happens if you have to handle like sensitive data too? What happens if you have to check for like someone is above like 18 years old, or if you have to check for nationality or like geolocation, or there could be a bunch of other like sensitive data in community building that you just don't want to like connect with all the financial and like on-chain and public data. So here is where like Polygon ID comes into the picture, because with Polygon ID you can set up any queries in the Polygon ID like verifiable credential system, and verify certain facts about your community members without actually like revealing their personal identifiers or revealing like their identity effectively. And then you can combine this with Guild to identify like whales and identify like high net worth traders or like liquidity providers and so on, without actually doxing them, and enable them to like join specific parts of the community. And this is what Guild does. It's an automation platform. So like once you have the Polygon ID connected and verify that you have a specific credential, Guild can see that. As you can see, you get added to the list of members. and then based on that role, you can get specific rewards. Currently on Guild, we have 5 different reward types. We can give access to Guild members to Discord, like private Discord channels, private Telegram groups, private documents, like even a slides or something, a private GitHub repository, and special polls that can only be minted out by a specific group of people. And soon Guild will enable like NFTs too. We already have during this campaign with Polygon a soulbound NFT issued by Guild on the Polygon blockchain. If you can, like you can see it here, you can mint out an NFT, and this could be a reward too. That can, like, only people who have specific roles in a guild can get access to this on-chain asset. And this is the campaign. We combined credentials from Viv, from different parts like DeFi, like are you a liquidity provider like this? And as I just recently learned, you can use these credentials together as well in Guild system too. So like if you come here and edit the query, you can copy out the query and copy here like additional queries and check maybe even like multiple queries at the same time. One more interesting thing about like Guild's query engine is that you can turn any of the Polygon ID queries into their negatives as well. So if you have a specific query that you want to use to exclude certain type of people, you can do that too. And Guild also enables you to set up any of the requirements to public, secret, or hidden, which allows you to, if you want specific type of queries or specific type of requirements to be hidden from the users, you can do that too. So this is the campaign, and yeah, the verification process is relatively simple, as I showed you before, but it didn't went through some internet issues. So yeah, I think I will leave some space for the questions here. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those. If you have any specific questions about Polygon ID and Guild in combination, or just Guild specifically, happy to answer.
Where are you storing the data? Like the attestation, for example.
So I don't think we are storing the attestation, but I'm not like super like familiar with the technical implementation of Polygon ID. But I think there is a check, like when you are generating the zero knowledge proof, we check that zero knowledge proof one time, and then I don't think we store the attestation. We just store in our system that like how long it is valid according to our setup.
So it's stored in your central system, or like how do you guys do it on Guild? Like,
so Guild is just the authentication mechanism. Essentially, you just prove to us that at this point of time you have this credential, you can generate the proof. And,
so it's like case by case, like if I want to come into community A and I prove that and I would want to reuse that, I would just regenerate that.
Yeah. Currently, every time you come to a new community on Guild and you want to use the same credential, you have to prove the credential one more. What Guild enables though is that you can use any of the Guild roles in any other guilds too. Like, so for example, like I have a Guild role here in the Polygon ID already to Ethereum with Love, where you prove that you hold this NFT. You can use this role in any other Guild communities as well. So then users don't have to like re-authenticate themselves. That's a possibility. But by default, every time you have to connect your Polygon ID and go through them.
Are those rules on chain? Like you have a smart contract where you just like...
No. All of these rules are like stored by Guild. But all of these rules are like permissionless too. So like they work exactly the same as like an RPC endpoint would work. We have a public API that you can query and like get out any of the data, like get out essentially any of the credential data, including the queries, their expiry date, and then everything else. Yeah.
So when for example, you said that there's like a co-op, a special co-op only some people can mint, right?
Yeah.
So does it work like some people scan the QR code and only those who have access can mint it, or do only those who have access get the QR code? How does it work?
Yeah, like we distribute unique QR codes for each of the users who went through the process, and it's just a one-time only usage. So we built it in collaboration with Co-op, so like it's an officially supported like Co-op distribution mechanism on Discord. All right, then thank you for listening to me, and yeah, if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them after.
Thank you very much.